In this lesson, I will explain to you data collection and sampling techniques. So the question arises that why statisticians collect data, why they need data. So here I have written some information that data can be used to describe situations or events. Now, what is the meaning of this, right? Data can be used to describe. With the help of a data, statisticians describe a situation. For example, manufacturer can make a smart marketing strategy if he knows the purchasing power of the consumers. If he knows what kind of products the people like and at what price level they are going to purchase, then the manufacturer can make a good marketing strategy of his or her products. With the help of a data, buyers can make an intelligent decisions what stocks to buy. Suppose if you want to buy some stocks on the basis of the last month data or last year trend, you can make decisions which products you have to buy. For these purposes, statisticians need data. There are different ways to collect data. The most common way is to collect data through surveys. So there are different ways how the statisticians or how the researchers can collect data. These three are most commonly used: telephone survey, mail questionnaire, and personal interviews. So we will discuss one by one what are the pros and cons, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these three kind of surveys. So first one is the telephone survey. Here are some advantages and here are some disadvantages. So telephone surveys are less expensive. Why it is less expensive? Because you do not have to go anywhere. Just you have to pick your phone and make a call. People are more frank. This is the another advantage, that because telephone is not face to face, right? So people are more frank. They express their judgment. They express their feedback easily as compared to face. So these two are the advantages. And as you know that everything has some advantages and disadvantages. So these are the disadvantages. Not all people have chanced to survey, as sometimes they do not receive the phone or they are at work when they receive the call. Some people have unlisted number or do not have phone, right? So here means these are not equal. Not all people have chance to survey. Moving on to the mail questionnaire, advantages and disadvantages. Mail survey are less costly than personal survey, right? Personal survey is expensive, which we are going to discuss next, and can cover the wide area of the of or wide area than telephone survey. People may remain anonymous, right? If suppose people do not want to show their name, so they just reply. Sometimes they want to become anonymous, so they can. This is the advantage of the mail questionnaire. Disadvantage: low number of replies, because if suppose we are going to send 1000 mail survey, so you can say hardly we will receive 10% or 20% replies. So low number of replies. Incorrect responses: sometimes people do not understand clearly what the question is, so incorrect responses we can receive. So this is the disadvantage of the mail questionnaire. And the last one is the personal survey. Detailed answer. The advantage is detailed answer from the respondents, because personally you have to go there wherever you want to go, and then you have to ask questions. If the respondents say that the question is not clear, you have to explain them. So detailed answer from the respondents you can take. And disadvantages: more costly. Why more costly? Because everywhere you have to go personally, it's time consuming as well as more costly. Unfair choice of respondent. This is the disadvantage. What is the meaning of unfair choice of respondents? Suppose if you will pick 10% or whatever is the requirement according to your own choice, so unfair choice of respondents. This is the disadvantage. Researchers use sample to collect data, right? Because as I have told you, population is each and every objects or person you have to include, which is time consuming and expensive population. So in statistics, statisticians use sample, not the population, but sample results may be unfair or a biased, right? Unfair or a bias. So same thing here I have written, to get sample that are unbiased, that give each subject in the population a like chance of being selected, statisticians practice four sampling method. There are different sampling methods. Here we are going to discuss four sampling method which researchers or statisticians use in order to make their decision unbiased. And again we are use sample, so sample result is not 100%, but at least we can reduce the biasness or unfairness. So now we will discuss the four methods of the sampling technique. So the first method is called the random number generator. Now what is the meaning of this random number generator? Random sample is a subset of the population in which each member of the subset has an equal probability of being selected. See, the focus is equal probability. Now, what is the meaning of this? Suppose if I have 100 students in my statistics class and I want to select only 10 for survey. If I will pick according to my own choice, then it will be the biased decision. So each and every person should have an equal probability of being selected. Same kind of examples I have written here. As an example of the random sample would be the names of 30 employees being chosen out of a hat from the company of 300 employees. If the company has 300 employees, all the names should be put in the hat or in a box. Then you have to shake that box very properly. After that, any anonymous person or a child you can bring, and he or she has to pick 30. So this is called the random generator number. And here I have made a very simple example only to show you that this is the random sampling. This is all population, and from this population, suppose we pick these three, this is called the sample. This is random, right? Or all these balls we will put in a bucket, we will shake the bucket properly, and after that we will close our eyes and pick any three. So this is the sample. If I will say I need this, I need this, I need this, so it will be the biased decision. So in random sampling, each and every, this is the population, have an equal probability. All you have to consider, and then we have to pick some sample from it. Now is the systematic, right? Systematic is every kth subject. What is the meaning of every kth? If you will read this, then it will be a little bit confusing. What is the meaning of this definition? First, I will explain to you. Then I will come back to this slide and I will show you what is the meaning of this. So see here, systematic sampling. Suppose we have 16 students in a class. So here I have made this 1, 2, 3 up to 16, and I want to pick 4. If I will pick 1, 6, 7 and 8, this will be my own decision. We have to we have to be very fair, right? So what we have to do, I say I need 4, so total students are 16. I will write down 16 divided by 4. Why 4? Because I am looking 4 students, and by chance his answer is also 4. So it means kth, every kth, right? This is the definition of the systematic sampling. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I will pick 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will pick this. Again 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. See this, I will pick these 4 students. But again it will be biased. Why? Because I suppose I already thought that I need 4 students, but I will start from 1. Here again you have to bring some child or any other person, anonymous person, or ask them where should I start. Suppose if he or she will say okay, start from 7, so we will start from 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time we will pick 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. We will pick these 4 students. So when you will read it, same thing I have written, what I have explained here. This is called the systematic, right? Or the kth. Now go back to our definition. It will be more clear. Sample members from a larger population are selected according to a random starting point. Not always you have to start from 1. Random starting point and a fixed periodic interval. What is the meaning? Fixed periodic. Suppose if I want to select kth, fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and next time I cannot do, okay, 5 and 6. I am selecting this. Third time I am making the interval of 5. No, fixed periodic. It should be 4 every fourth. This interval called the sampling interval is calculated by dividing the population size by the desired sample size. Population, if suppose I want to pick 10 students and there are 100, so 100 divided by 10, which is equal to 10. So kth, every kth I will pick every 10 student. But again you have to start from the random starting point, not from 1. I think now systematic is clear. So here I said these are the different groups. I said 1, 2, 3. I will pick this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, every kth element. This is just a simple example only to show you. Now is the stratified. What is the meaning of a stratified sampling? So here divide population into layers. Layers means group. Here suppose I have all these students. So I say, okay, students number 17 to 28 is one group. This is second group. This is third group and this is fourth group. So I divide all the students, all the population in different groups. And now from each group you have to select some. Suppose from this group I will select 18 and 21. If I say pick 2, so you have to pick 2 from each group. Here we will pick 29 and 35. Suppose here 40 and 42. Here 52 and 57. You have to consider each and every group. Do not ignore anyone. So if you will read it, same thing here. Divide the population into group, then you have to pick from each group. This is called the stratified. So here I have made a simple example again. These are my 3 groups. So here from each group you have to select. Right here I just showed that from each group. I'm not saying that I will pick from this group and ignoring this. No. In stratified, each and every group. Okay, the last one is the cluster. Cluster and stratified both are same, but what is the difference? Difference is same. Suppose if I will say my one student's range is 17 to 21 and then 22 to move on here, right? I made 4 groups, suppose, right? So I'll start from here and whatever. So in stratified you have to select from each group some members, but in stratified you have to select whole group. Suppose if I am selecting this group and I am selecting this group, I am not selecting this. With cluster sampling, the researcher divides the population into separate groups, same as we did in stratified, by some means such as geographic area or school zone called cluster, then randomly chose some of these clusters as a whole, as a subject of the sample. So see here I have made another example for you, Washington DC. These are the zip codes, suppose, right? Or I have divided into different areas. So I am not going to pick from each area, just like we did in the stratified. This whole cluster 757, 276, I have selected these two. So this is the difference between cluster and stratified. In stratified you have to make some small groups. From each group you have to select. In cluster you have to select as a whole cluster, right? Other sampling techniques: mall survey, go to the mall and ask the questions whatever you want to different kind of people. Social media, Facebook polls, right? So we have different social media as well. We can collect data from our social media as well. So the last is sampling error and non-sampling error. What is the meaning? If you will read this paragraph again, it will be difficult. First I will explain, then it will be much more easy. Suppose we have 1000 students in our college, right? I say, I say on maybe there are 60% girls and 40% boys. This is my idea, right? Just went one or two classes and I said, okay, total 60% girls and 40%. But when we consider each and every male or female, we found that there are 62% female or girls student and 38% boys. So what is the difference? The difference is 2%. That 2% is the sampling error, right? And you know that sample answer is not 100% true. This is the sampling error. So if you will read the difference between the results found from a sample and the results found from the population from which the sample was selected, right? I made this decision only. I went one and two classes and I said, okay, 60% girls. But if we consider population, so the difference between the population answer and the sample error answer, this is called the sampling error. Non-sampling error is the human blunders. Suppose if we enter data, suppose if I want to enter 147, by mistake I enter 174. So this is the data entry error or the biased questions. If I will ask question to those students I know personally, so this is the biased decision. So non-sampling errors are the human blunders, while sampling errors are difference between sample and population. I hope this is clear, right? Now here I have made few practice problem for you. You have to pause your video here, read one by one all these four statements. Then you have to write down whether the first statement is the cluster sampling, systematic sampling, random sampling, or stratified sampling. Just like the subscribers of the channel are number, then a sample of these people is selected using random numbers. So you have to write down your answer. When you will complete this, then you have to move in the next slide. I have provided answer so you can verify your answers. In this way you will learn more. See you in the next lesson and thank you.